Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion. Now, this is something that came up last week. I was updating a reading journal that I have, and I was keeping all of the books that I have read over the years in a reading journal. So it's just a blank journal. I actually have a video about it, so I will link that down below if you want to see what my journal looks like. It's different than my yearly reading journal where I keep up with all my things and I do all the planning and all that stuff. It's just a list, literally, of all the books that I've read, just kind of one comprehensive list. And I keep that just in case anything happens to Goodreads and all of that data gets lost. I just wanted a tangible physical list for myself as well. So I was updating that the other day, and I decided in the back I was going to start keeping a list of series. So the series that I want to read, what the series is, how many in that series I need to read, and check them off as I go. So I took probably like 20, 30 pages from the back of the journal, and I started writing all those down. And I only wrote down series that I have already started, and I know that I want to continue. I didn't write down absolutely everything that I want to read. I did not write down absolutely everything that I own. It was only series that I have started, and I know for sure that I want to continue with that series and finish it out. So that wasn't too bad, right? But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a separate list just on a piece of paper, and I'm going to go through my shelves. I'm going to write down all of the series that I own that I have not started yet. Now, this was whether I own the entire series or I just own the first book and that's it. If I owned any part of a series that I have not started yet, I wrote that series down on a piece of paper. And, oh, guys, okay. The number of series that I own books from that I have not even started yet is astounding. It was shocking to me how many series, not just books, series, whether, again, like if I have 11 of them, like the Wheel of Time series, I have the first 11 books in the Wheel of Time series on my shelves. I have not started that series yet. Whether it is the Books of Babel, I only have one. That's a 4-book series. I only have the first book, but I count that because I have the first book in the series and I haven't started it yet. Just the number of series that I have that count it towards this is just almost embarrassing. It was a shock. It really was. I sat there and I counted that up and I was like, what are you doing, Sarah? Why do you have all these series physically sitting on your shelves that you have not even touched yet? You have no business buying any more books in a series, especially if you haven't started them. The number is over 100, I'll say that. So I'm not going to go through all of them. That's not going to happen here. That would be an editing nightmare, so I'm not going to do that. Let's just say I have a whole lot. And it was really kind of just a wake-up call. And it really reinforced my decision to really cut back on my buying this year, especially in series. And it helped me to tell myself, okay, this is your sign, Sarah, that you do not need to buy any more books that is a part of a series, especially if you have not started it yet. Especially. If it's something I have started and I know that I want to read the entire series and I know that I want to have that series on my shelves for the long haul, okay, we can maybe think about that later. But if I haven't read a series, I do not need to be buying it. Straight up, just stop it, Sarah. So it really kind of reinforced that goal for me to back off on my buying this year. And it was literally, guys, I was speechless. I'm still kind of speechless. I cannot believe I have that many that I just haven't even touched yet. It's insane. And some of them are, like I said, huge series. And then some of them could be even just a duology, but I have both books and they're sitting on my shelves unread. And since I just did a video about series that I can easily finish up because I only have one book left in it, that is something that would be nice to be able to do that. But then I also have all of these over 100 series that I haven't even touched yet. Man, it's just kind of crazy. So I'm not setting any goals. Again, This is a commitment-free zone here for this year. Sarah's not committing to anything solid at all, but I am thinking about it now. I'm thinking about, well, I need to give some of these series a try, especially if it's like a duology. I can easily do that. I can read a duology. I have multiple duologies sitting on my shelves right now, or trilogies even, that are pretty easy to get through. And I started thinking about that because last year I read the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo, and I read all 3 of those books fairly close together. And I think it was over like 2 or 3 months that I read those books. And I really enjoyed doing that because I got the whole story and it was there and it was great. And I did the same thing with the Lunar Chronicles, which was a longer series and the books were much longer. So that did take me longer to do, but it was, 1 book a month. And I would do that. And I read the entire series, including all the novellas last year, which I really, really enjoyed doing because I really got that whole series. I wasn't away from it for too long, so I didn't forget anything. And when I was going through my shelves, I was looking at, oh yeah, I need to read this next in this series. And I was like, do I remember book 1? And that got me thinking about really giving me a desire to read my series closer together to the point where I don't feel like I need to reread the first book because I don't want to. I've already read it. You know what I mean? And I understand that as time goes by, that, details get lost. 100%. We're human. I don't remember what I had for breakfast last week, let alone what happened in a book that I read 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So some details can definitely get lost. And so I do see the value in rereading like that, but it's not something that I necessarily want to do, especially with all the series that I've already started. So this is the part where I'm very thankful for websites who will post spoilery things to kind of catch you up and you don't have to do that. But at the same time, it would be nice not to even need to rely on that because I would read them closer together. I don't have to read them back to back to back necessarily, but like within a couple months, start the next book in a series that I'm choosing to pick up and read. And so it's definitely giving me a big desire to do that. And it's got me thinking much more about the series that are on my shelves versus the standalones or the arcs or, anything like that. Just things that I have already purchased and was very excited when I purchased them to read. And a lot of them I'm still very excited to read at some point. And maybe possibly starting to make those a little bit more of a priority soon. So we'll see. Again, no commitments, but I'm thinking about it. It's 100% on my mind. And I am definitely committing to not purchasing books in a series anymore until, number 1, I've started it, and number 2, I'm ready to read that book now. So if I have the first 2 books in a series and it's a trilogy, I'm not going to buy that 3rd book until I'm ready to read it, which means I've read the first 2 and yep, I'm ready to finish this off and I'm going to go buy it and then I'm going to read it. And it's something that I know that I want to have on my shelves. So lots of thoughts, lots of thought processing and reality checks, definitely. However, unintentionally, I did not go into making this list thinking that it was going to slap me in the face the way that it did. But I was actually shocked when I saw how many of these books that there were just sitting on my shelves. And most of them are fantasy because, let's face it, a lot of fantasy books are series. They are. There's not a ton of standalones. I know that there's a good selection of them, but a lot of them end up being series. And that's just the nature of the genre, which I enjoy. I like being in a series. I like really getting to spend time with and know these characters. So I do enjoy that, which is why I buy them. But I'm not getting to know them if I'm not reading them, right? So, oh gosh. It's a lot. That is just something that is 100% on the forefront of my mind right now because I went through that whole process with my journal. And it's definitely something that I might be gravitating towards a little bit more here in the next couple of months, quite possibly, just working on some series, even picking up series that I'm in the middle of or that I've already started and I want to get back to. I would like to just kind of make progress in those. Again, no commitments, which is why I'm not singling anything out. I'm not doing it, but it could be something that will show up in some of my wrap-ups here soon, hopefully. So we'll see. Let me know down below your thoughts on series. Are a majority of the series that you read, are they fantasy? Are they science fiction? Those are definitely the biggest two for me, but there are contemporary series as well, especially things that are like companion series where they follow like different characters from the same big group of characters or whatever. And so there's definitely some of those on my list as well. But let me know if you're a series reader, like kind of what the majority of the series that you own are and how you tackle them. Are they intimidating? Does it get to be too much? Do you binge them the way that I'm thinking about doing binging, like a little bit, not necessarily back to back to back, but closer together? Do you like waiting a year? Do you like the anticipation of waiting for the next book in the series to come out? Just let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to hear them. And that's going to be it for me today. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.